Okay guys, so this should be video like 2.1 or something like that. I kind of got out of order, but I think the most important thing for you to watch is this video while you're waiting for your credit score to come in paper in the mail, right? So that's what we talked about, mindset and where to be and how to be prepared that you're going to do some work and put effort towards it, right? Or nothing's going to happen. And then now I think the first step that we asked you to do was to obviously go and, you know, get these credit reports mailed to you, and pull your free credit check total. You know, that's coming in video number 3, and so video number 2 is talking about order these papers. So while these papers are coming, this is what you need to do when you get your credit check total. So this is going to be video 3.1, right? So it's right after video 3. You need to know what your credit score is made of, and you need to start building credit regardless, build more credit if you have a really bad score. Okay, so I don't need to pull up anybody's account. Let me just put it this way: if you don't have any positive history on there, you need to be doing this like yesterday. Like I keep saying, that what I mean about do it yesterday, obviously you can't do it yesterday, but that's how bad you need to start today, and you know, get this positive credit building from some type of secured card or something ready to go. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now in this video. So first of all, knowing what your credit score is made of. You can see right here, I'm not going to read these over and tell you, but just check this out, right? This little document's going to be in all the it's going to be in all the packages, $20, $50, whatever, so that you can see what's actually making up your score, you know. And just to explain what they mean by this, payment history, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't pay on time, then you know, you're going to be hurting your score. The biggest chunk is that one, I think, right? And then over here we have another 30% is the amounts owed. So the amounts owed are, let's say you have a $1,000 credit limit, and you're probably going to start with a $300 credit card. So let's work with that example. So $300, if you keep your balances on that $300 credit limit card below 30%, that's the best thing you can do. If you can go below 15%, it's even better. And if you can get it below 11 or 10%, looks phenomenal. 1 and 2% is just amazing. It's hard to do that, right? You just spent $300 for a secured card, and to keep your balance below that's really hard. Payment history, self-explanatory. Make all your payments on time from here for the rest of your life. Now you figured it out. Now you're more responsible. Now you're trying to fix your credit or build your credit. You need to make your payments on time. New credit, you're going to do this in spurts, and there's ways to do this, right? So listen, the inquiries on your credit report tick off 2 to 5 points, 1 to 3 points. It depends on if your score is really low, then it hits you harder, 3 to 5. If your score is above like 640, I think it is, then it takes off only 1 or 3 points every time you check your credit, right? So new credit, if you're constantly every 2 months trying at a new department store, right? Like you got a Kohl's card, and then you got a Target card, and then you got a Macy's card, and then you got a you know, Walmart card, and then you go to Best Buy, and then you go to, you know, you just keep opening these accounts. It looks like you're constantly looking, and you might get denied at some of them, right? So that's not good. So new credit, if you have credit that's below 2 years, it doesn't look great. We all have to start a card sometime, so that's why starting this so that you can get past that 2-year marker is great. Types of credit, that means, like, do you have just revolving credit cards like the ones that I just mentioned, or do you have an auto loan, which is one of the different mixes? The other one would be a mortgage, which probably most of you don't have that, but it's good to get that towards the end of repairing your credit. And then also when you talk about installment loans, these are ones that start out with a balance, whatever the amount is, and you can't pay it down and reuse it. You can only pay it down to 0, okay? So installment loans would be an example of maybe if you bought a let's say you bought a jet ski for $4,000, you're not going to be able to pay off the jet ski down to $2,000 and then go buy a motorcycle for $1,200, you know, a dirt bike. You're going to have to pay that down to 0, and then you can go back to them and finance another different thing. And it might be different by store, but I'm just giving you an example. So installment is, hey, this is the amount, make certain number of payments until it's done or gone. So that's one type. So you got auto, you got mortgage, which is a house, and you got installment, and you have revolving. Revolving are the ones where you got a limit, you keep paying it, you can charge it up to full. You're supposed to leave it at a 30% balance or less. That's the best advice I can give you. That's going to boost your score the most. And then the other thing would be you know, actually getting your credit limit increase. Which I'm gonna give you guys a really quick example. When I was building my credit, I started with a $300 credit card, no problem. They started me out, hey, here's $300 of our money. And then I paid it on time for like 2 or 3 months. I kept a super low balance. I actually would go into Target and buy something, and I walk straight over to customer service with my real debit card and cash. I got the 5% off by using a Target card, and I'd go knock out the balance with my debit card right there. Boom. So I didn't even owe anything. Sometimes I didn't have time to hit, and sometimes I paid stuff off double and returned stuff. So both of the credit came back, and they were like, what are you doing? You only had a $300 credit limit, and then you paid off the $300, and then you returned the item you bought, so it went back to the credit card. So it was like I had $600, but they only gave me a $300 limit. Well, long story short, in 4 short months, they upped my credit limit to $700, right? Because I showed really responsible payments. So that's what you want to do. Now, you're going to have to get a secured card. So I'm going to turn this video into video 3.2, right? Where we're actually going to show you which secured cards work, because you're only going to be able to start with that probably. Other methods that are not secure cards, and why they need to report to the bureaus, right? So you need to have positive history reporting to the bureaus. We're going to show you how to do that next video. This video is just going over what makes up your credit score, right? So it shows you how much of a percent this has on it. If you have good payment history, right, and then you have down here, what does it say, amounts owed, right, then that's great. The amounts owed are really low and you have good payment history, that's most of your score. All the other things are really small and minute, right? The inquiries and the new credit and the types of credit and the length of history. Length of history is pretty big, that's 15%. So we'll show you how to add that at the very end of these video tutorials as well. So coming up next video is going to be on the how to get these secure cards and get your credit rebuilt right away, okay?